Hey there, I am back to share with you today how I planned in my big happy planner. This is my memory planner, and this is also a happy planner, happy memory keeping planner. So it's set up like a big happy planner. It's got the columns and the three sections, but it does not dated. So this is actually older, 2017, 2018 maybe. And then it has some other random additions. So in the sidebar, you'll see it. And then also there are some grid squares, some line squares, things like that. Occasionally on certain pages, there's words printed, things like that that make it different. Now, also, I am cutting up photos that I already printed on my Canon selfie printer. I use the PicFrame app to get the grid layout so that I can print these in 2x3 or have 2x3 size photos. I also write the date on the removable strip because I have a hard time remembering. And to be honest, a lot of my photos look the same. Like if I have 2 or 3 baseball games, it's very hard to notate which one was which, and I like to get it right if I can. That's pretty much the theory I have for my whole memory keeping, is that I'm not completely obsessed with things being exactly correct. That's not necessary to me, but if I can, I like to, I mean, I don't want to mess it up, right? All right, so you can see I have an abundance of photos. This was my birthday, my middle son's 18th birthday. It was also our older dog. They share a birthday. So I had a lot of pictures. So in the end, I decided to remove a couple of them and I'm going to create an insert. If you follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name is AJ McGarvey. I'm going to share a picture of the insert that I'm going to use. And honestly, you'll probably just see it next week on next week's video as well. But I'm going to create an insert for a couple of the birthday photos. And I am not using Pocket Pages. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, so I'm actually putting two photos side by side down at the bottom, which is super unusual for me. It's not something I ordinarily do. I would normally stagger them or overlap them or something like that, but I just decided that it might be kind of a cool look, and I actually really love it. So I'll probably do this more in the future. Anyway, I am at the phase or in a phase of my life where I do have an abundance of photos, and I know not everybody has as many photos. But what I will say about that is I think this project is fantastic even if you don't have a lot of photos. It is springtime. It is an amazing time to notate and really document the changes in your environment and the things around you, the things you're eating, the things you're liking, purchasing, reading. I mean, there's just so many things to document. It doesn't have to be all beach days and basketball games. It can absolutely be things you're buying at the grocery store, the coffee you're loving, I mean, just all kinds of stuff. They're all really important things. So that's just what I think. All right, so I'm going to start my decoration now that I have all my photos down. The visual triangle will be a little off skew this week. But if you think about it, sometimes triangles are not perfect, right? They're a little bit like wonky and crazy. So remember that when we're setting this up. So I have the background sticker, which is beautiful. Then I have the cloud, which is my anchor. And then I have that little accent. Now we're going to do the same thing here with this Hello April sticker. Then the floral little bouquet is my anchor. And then my accent is going to be this long washi type strip, which I know I talk to you guys all the time about how much I love these. They're just so pretty. I love how they elongate your embellishment cluster, but then they also draw your eye back into the cluster as well. Win-win, right? Okay, so now let's do the third cluster. This took me a minute to decide which way I wanted to go because A, you can obviously see I have a ton of stickers, and then two, did I say A and then two? A. Sorry, guys. I was trying to figure out, okay, did I really want this to be a red themed week or did I want it to be more blue? And I decided with the pool and the beach photos that I wanted to go more blue. So that's where we got the light blue background with the green polka dots and then the scalloped label for my anchor, and then my accent is this long strip again. Now I'm also going to use, I love these alphabet stickers, by the way. I couldn't even finish my first sentence because I like them so much. They are a really good size. And then they're outlined with like the thinnest line of black, and it looks so good. Like I love them. Love them, love them, love them. Anyway, I like them because they also, you'll see in a minute, I'll use a different alpha on the right-hand side. And while I really like the alphabet, it does not provide the same contrast that these do and make it so much easier to see. I just think they look great. Even if you don't even really like green, which I don't love this shade of green, I think they look fantastic. Okay, so now this is not so much like a decorative cluster, like one of my main ones, as really just an accent to the photos, especially because this is a little cluster notating my son and our dog's birthday. So I'm going to take these alphabet stickers and spell out birthday. Now these are the ones that I was talking about that I really like them. They're super cute, but they're not quite as easy to see as the spring break ones, thanks to that teeny tiny little, I mean, obviously the color is darker too, let's be honest, but that teeny tiny little black line outlining it really helps give it some pop. I'm a big fan. So now we're going to spell out the word birthday. I love this. And then I'm going to end up putting another label sticker down below just so I can spell out 18th and 11th birthday. I love it. The idea is so charming, and it's so fun to be able to document like the important photos from the day, like, because obviously I have 25 photos from that day, and just taking a couple of really super important ones and getting it down for the birthday. Now, what I will say too is what's cool about this project is that if you're able to keep up with it somewhat, then even if you don't get around to making a traditional scrapbook layout or documenting these special days any further, you at least managed to get it documented in a really simple, meaningful way. So for me, that is just like, oh my gosh, such a bonus. I'm totally in love with it. And it really makes a huge difference. I absolutely love it. I am able to document absolutely everything this way, and anything else, any traditional scrapbook layouts that I make is just gravy. All right, so I am adding simply the label stickers for the activities and appointments that we have for the week. That's what you're seeing me do right here. So baseball games and practices and things like that. And I didn't have too many because, as you can see, this was spring break. So yes, there's still some stuff going on, especially after a year of COVID. However, it leaves me a little bit of room to do a decent amount of journaling this week, which I'm really excited about because I do find that when I'm not able to journal as much because there's so much going on, I do start to sort of miss it and feel like I'm not telling as many of the stories. So this gives me a good opportunity to make sure that I am telling all the things. So I'm just writing down all of the practices, activities, games, things like that in the label stickers. And so then that way they are completed and finished. Because as you know, this right here, this bulk, this would be where I could stop. I feel like, okay, it's good. Like if I didn't have any more time or if I didn't feel any more creativity or anything like that, I could absolutely let it go here. But instead, I'm going to pull out my magnetic crafting mat and then the ruler and draw my lines. This week I'm going back to the old black pen because it's a big favorite of mine. If you've been here for even a minute, I've been using this for many, 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 many years. This exact same thing, just because I love it. I like the highlighter too. I just didn't feel like it this week. So I already mentioned that I'm going to do a lot of journaling this week. There was a lot of different things that went on. A birthday, a beach day, we had baseball games, we swam. It was nothing crazy. I mean, okay, the birthday and the baseball game at the Angels Stadium was a big deal, especially after a year of COVID. But the rest of it was fairly ordinary stuff. But I'm still documenting it, still writing it, because that's what I like to do in my memory planner. And like I said, I don't always do it. Now, journaling can look like whatever you want it to look like, okay? So if you don't want to tell full stories, you can do a little bit more like I do, which is a little bit more general, a little bit more broad strokes. I don't get too into anything usually, but I do just give, an overview. I know a lot of people do like to really get to the nitty gritty. And so if that's more your speed, absolutely do it. And again, if you're one of those people that don't have that many photos right now, some deeper journaling could be a great alternative as well because you'd have a lot more room. You know what another idea is too? Using a classic happy planner. I did that for my very first one, memory planner, my 2016, and I loved it. I loved the size, and I know someday I will totally go back to it. I just right now I have enough stories and enough things to document, and so a big works great for me, but I will 100% go back to the classic size at some point because I won't need all this space. I mean, I'm going to have two sons that are out of school, well, out of high school, and then I will have one middle schooler left. So at some point, I will run out of 55 photos a week or whatever. Obviously, I don't really have 55. I'm exaggerating. So all right, so I have drawn my lines for journaling and I'm kind of mentally thinking about what I'm going to say here. That's why I'm adding a couple of extra lines because I know that I have a little bit more to say than I originally thought. And so adding those couple of lines will let me tell the entire story that I want to tell right there. That is it for me this week. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.